Hey everybody, welcome to Off Grid with Brad and Kelly. I'm Brad.
I'm Kelly.
And we did a video last night on the Full Spectrum Survival channel where we talked about catching mice or catching rats. Yes. We had a mouse in the house, and you know, we live out in the country now and you're just going to have that. But if you're like me, that would keep you up all night long.
Yeah.
I just can't stand it. So I decided, as soon as my oldest son said, hey, I thought I heard something, I decided to put some traps out, and as you saw in that video, we caught a mouse.
Yes.
But we had a lot of questions about the traps.
We did.
Questions like, do they have holes in it that you can affix it to a tree or a branch?
Yeah. What kind of bait should you use? How exactly do you set it up safely?
Yeah, right. What's your pre-work? What's your post-work? Things like that. So this is, we have two sets of these. They are galvanized steel. What I've done is I've spray painted them with high heat grill paint, because that's durable for outside.
Right, yeah. It's gonna increase its longevity.
Right, exactly. So these have lasted me probably 4 years without any problems. What I do with them is I just leave them out, and I don't purposefully abuse them, but I also am not super careful with them.
Right.
This is the trap pack that goes in my survival bag that I go out camping with and everything. So I always know where it's at. Now, my pack has 4. I still have one set out right now. My pack has 4 of the traps. And people ask, what do you use for bait? Do you use peanut butter? Do you use fish? Do you use bacon and sugar?
Yeah.
Those are all great options.
Yep.
But what I have found is best for my pack, because I'm not carrying any of those, is Slim Jims.
Yes, it's all packaged up. You can throw a few in there. It's not going to get on anything else, and it's you know, it's all contained, and it's
oily, greasy.
it's greasy, you know, animals are going to smell it, they're going to want to come to it, so It has always been successful for us to use the Slim Jims.
And like Kelly said, it's beneficial for us because it goes in the pack, it's already sealed up, it's not going to expose everything else to the smell, to you know, it's not going to make your whole pack while you're out camping, or if you're bugging out, or if it's just your car pack, it's not going to make it smell like bait to everything.
Right, yep.
So we take that and we'll just pinch off just enough to put on the trap, and you'll see here that there's a little lever, a little spike on the lever. And I pinch off just enough to slide onto that spike there. And what that's going to do is make it so that the mouse or rat or squirrel is going to have to work at it a little bit.
Yeah, and then that's going to trigger the trap.
Yeah, exactly. So that's bait and setup. We do it the same way every time. The holes for affixing this to a plank of wood or affixing it to a tree or something like that, they're up here with the actual trigger. You can just put a little piece of wire through that, tie it off to the tree, make sure that it's wire that's thick enough that whatever you're trying to catch isn't going to chew through it.
Right.
If you just use twine or something like that, or a paracord, whatever you catch is going to get, if it manages not to get caught by the trap itself, it's just going to get through it. Or if something a little bit larger comes on, like,
it might just break it.
That's right. Say you catch a mouse, and then a rat comes on to eat the mouse, and it just takes it away. It'll just chew it and take it away with it. So use something larger. Use like a leader wire or your other trap line, which makes another part of my trap kit is the USGI military spool of wire. These, I find them on Amazon. They're pretty inexpensive. I'll put the link down below. I use these every time because if I'm going out, say I'm spending a week in the woods, I'm not going to go with just 4 traps. 4 traps is not going to get it done.
Right. Yep.
You need to set, in my experience, at least 20 traps throughout your area of operation and manage those before you move on to somewhere else.
Right. Not every trap you set is going to be successful.
Right.
Anyone that's done trapping knows that you have to work at it. You have to find good spots, and even then, you're lucky when you get stuff.
Yeah, it's like fishing. You know, if you're just in a spot with no fish that are eating, you're just not going to catch anything, even though there's a world of fish to catch. So I carry this with, and I'll use this to affix the trap to a tree or an underground root or something like that. Now, post-care. You can see that they're very clean afterwards. These Slim Jim, the residue of the grease or whatever you use as bait is going to stay on there a very long time, and it's going, the acids in whatever you use is going to eat away at your trap. Not only that, but if you store them not in a secure location, it's going to continue to bring critters in.
Right.
So I clean them vigorously. And then some people say you don't have to, but it's been an old timer's trick that we have stuck with for years and years, and that's to smoke all the traps that we have. So as part of my kit, I have a wax fireball and a lighter, and even if I'm out away from my pack, I'm going to use it to start a fire and smoke the trap. And what that does is it takes away the human smell. You know, for hundreds of years, animals have avoided humans.
Right. Humans are danger.
Yeah, humans mean I'm going to get eaten. So they avoid the smell of humans if they've been exposed to it.
Right.
So I try to take off the human smell by smoking them out,
Right.
and then I set them.
And the smoke smell's not always going to be there, so the animal's not going to be afraid of, you know, that there's a fire.
Right.
So I don't want to go by that because they would avoid that too. That just gets rid of the human smell.
Yeah, exactly. So that's our setup for these. I know we had a lot of questions there on what we use, what we do before, what we do after. Every couple of seasons, I'm going to repaint these. If I was in a situation where I didn't have access to paint, you just deal with it what it is. It's galvanized already. It's not going to rust unless you just absolutely
Beat it up.
Yeah, use it in the wrong conditions. You're going to get some good use out of it. But they are, you know, you do have to treat them as though they're going to bring you food in a survival situation,
Right.
and as though they're going to get rid of your pest in a nuisance animal
Absolutely.
management situation.
Yep.
Okay, so I've got my Slim Jim, I've got my trap. Now remember, if you don't wear like a medical glove or something, or whatever you touch your bait with is going to make everything else that you touch smell like your bait. So it's going to attract animals to it. You have to be conscious of that. I don't wear gloves for that reason. If I'm setting something larger like a conibear, I'm always wearing gloves just for that added level of protection. The snap on these, as you can see from the screenshot, it's not horrible. It does have the chance to break your fingers, but you know, you just be extra careful with it and treat it with respect, knowing what it can do. So I've got the Slim Jim here. You see, you don't have to use very much. I've never used a lot. No matter how much you use, the animals are going to come to it, and you can see just from my hands the amount of grease that comes off of these. They're very proficient with grease. And the outside skin of the Slim Jim allows you to really hook it so that the animal has to really get at it for them to be able to get it, to get the bait. Now, like I said, beware of what you're going to touch with your hands. I'm okay touching the trap up because that's what I want the animal to do, is to become attracted to it. So to set the trap, you're going to open the lever there, and this is the part that's going to snap down, and you see there's ridges here that will provide the killing blow for the nuisance animal. So open up the lever, this sits right over top of it, just like that, and then this part right here gets put up into your bait holder, just like that. And you see, if it gets bent, you just bend it back up, open it up, and like I said, treat it with respect. The action of the lever is going to put a lot of tension on your bait holder there, and if you don't have it bent in the right direction, it does have a chance to snap on you, as you saw. So just hold it tightly the entire time, knowing that at any point it could snap on it and release the trap, and you don't want that on your hand, of course. So I'm going to show you exactly what will happen with an animal, and we'll go from there. So your nuisance creature is going to smell the bait. It's going to come up to it just like this, and they're usually very wary. So if you're watching closely and you see the nuisance creature coming up, just give it some time. It's best to just ignore your traps and set a schedule to check them if you're in the woods. And if you're at home, just wait until you hear the snap. So it's going to come up, see this tasty treat of Slim Jim sitting here, and it's going to look around, see if it smells any humans. It's going to get up close to it. It's going to smell around, try to get this, and then get snapped. Now, the action is real powerful on these. You don't want to get your hand caught in there if you're able to avoid it, but you see how easy it is to work. So that's the trap. Afterwards, as you can see, we'll smoke it out, clean all the grease off of it, make sure that there's no residue of either the smell of your bait or
the animal you got.
Yeah, or the animal you got, or the human hands, because you will have some dispersion of innards depending on where it catches the animal at. Yeah. But in a survival situation, if you have nothing left to eat, I'm going to eat those Slim Jims if I'm not able to use them to create more food by catching, or continue to eat them even after you see them fail on the trail.
Right.
You know, you can just take them right off of there, put them in a forever stew or something that's really boiling for you know, minutes and minutes and minutes at a hard boil, and then eat it like that.
Yep.
So there's lots of options here. We're going to put the links for everything down in the description box. If you have any other questions, just let us know. We'll handle it in the comments. And from Kelly and I to you and yours, stay safe and keep watch.
Bye.